Welcome to the Los Angeles Tribune page. Here you will find original news programming, exclusive digital events, and shows that are directly from the community. At the Los Angeles Tribune, we believe in giving a voice to the voiceless. We are proud to be the only national brand to empower everyday people to make a difference. Since 1886, our reputation has been built on truth and responsibility. Thank you for watching and making a difference.
For general inquiries, contact today. Thank you on behalf of the Los Angeles Tribune team.
Welcome to a celebration at the precipice of time, where the power of women knows no bounds. Experience Herstory unfolding, a reawakening of our collective consciousness to the monumental achievements of our foremothers. A tribute to the battles they fought, rights they've secured, and paths they've paved that women all over the world are continuing to navigate and expand upon. Her stories are unfolding, empowering growing, building legacies of pioneering women by sharing their stories, celebrating their accomplishments, and embracing the rights and privileges they've bestowed to us for generations to come.
Welcome to another day of Her Story unfolding. And today we are featuring another woman who's making such a change and an impact. And it's so exciting because it's in the world of books and authorship. Alicia, how excited are you about our guest today?
Ava, it is with great joy that we bring our guest, Nim Stant, on stage today. Her work is focused on helping individuals share their stories and find their voices through books. And as we know, books are such powerful tools to educate, to bring individuals to a fictional, imaginary place where they can let their imagination and creativity grow. And books leave a footprint that lasts forever. You can find books in a library, they're shared at school, they're passed down from grandparents, their parents to children, and they're very generational. So it is with immense joy that we bring on today's speaker, Nim, to share what her journey has been like and how she got involved and engaged in bringing books to the world. Nim Stant is the founder of Go All In Media. She is a show producer. She's a host on ABC 15. She's a success mentor, a best-selling author, a speaker, a yoga practitioner, and a mom. She truly does it all, and it is just a delight to be able to speak with her today about the work that she is doing and the impact that she is leaving. So without further ado, I'd love to bring Nim onto the stage to join us today. Hi, Nim. How are you? We can hear you. Hello, Nim. Can you hear us? Okay, it seems that there might be an audio issue. We're going to let Nim reset her mic, and we will bring her on shortly. But it's truly phenomenal what Nim is doing. She's curating and creating platforms for authors to get out there, to share what their book is about, how they became an author. And it doesn't just stop there. She's also curating and creating spaces to give authors training and understanding on how to bring their books more visibility and how to build on their own entrepreneurial skill sets as an author. You know, being an author isn't just about writing the book and getting it out there, but you really have to employ your entrepreneurial and business savvy to be able to create structure around the marketing and the production and the outreach and engagement around the book. So it's really impactful and powerful work that we have. So I'd love to bring Nim onto the stage. Hi, Nim. How are you?
Hi, Alicia. Hi, Ava. Nice to meet you guys. Hi, everyone. Can you guys hear me?
Yes, we can.
Awesome.
And
So
we're so
Nim,
excited for you.
Yes, and Nim, I spent a little bit of time introducing you, but would love for you to share in your own words, Who are you? Please share with us.
Thank you. Thank you. So, who am I? I always say, and this is in one of my books too. I am the one who loves. I am the one who lives. I matter. A lot of us label ourselves. I'm a mom. I'm a wife of whatever, right? So I'm really the one who lives, the one who loves, the one who matter. I believe that I am a multiplier. So that's why the work that I do, I know that I'm being called from God, from the higher power to do what I do to multiply the words and the work to help impact more people. That's why my organization is International Impact Book Awards, right? Because we want to impact, and that's what I do.
That's so amazing. I love to highlight Nim that we are celebrating just I love the name of your organization is Impact Book Awards, right? The intention of creating the impact is evident in what you're doing. And while we're in impact, let me also highlight on the screen, we have Bonnie Bruderer who's just commenting for us. She was one of our awardees a few several days ago, and she is the founder and CEO of Binge Network, now with like hundreds of shows and thousands of titles. So thank you for supporting and watching us, Bonnie. As we feature another impactful, powerful woman on the show. So Alicia, let me hand you the stage and your first question for Nim.
Yes, Nim. So would love to learn more about your story. How did you get to the point where you said you wanted to dive and delve into books and their story and their impact? I know that you had a really interesting childhood. You had an accident when you were quite
Yeah,
young, and it
yeah.
changed your upbringing and truly changed your life. Can you please share more about your story of what happened with your accident and how that impacted your childhood?
Yeah, thank you so much for asking. I mean, it's been a long time. I was a year and a half. I could not even remember that, right? But my mom told me all of this story. So a year and a half, I walk into the second floor, in my mom's bedroom with my sister. My sister just a year older than me, and we just look at the star, and I fell. Again, I'm from Thailand, so the security system is not very good. So I fell from the window from the second floor onto the dirty ditches outside our house. And my mom heard that loud noise and she thought it was like dog and chicken, just break the dishes. She ran outside and she saw me with blood running from my head, my nose, my mouth, and she carried me to the doctor. And it was in the evening. My dad wasn't home. She carried me to the doctor, and the doctor, I was green and purple already by the time we get to the hospital. And the doctor said to my mom, and he said, if I don't die, I'm probably going to be very slow in learning. And I was slow. I was the last in the class. I was slow in learning. And I had to work triple hard. I had to work very, very hard. Other people get it in the class. I just last. So, but I read a lot of books, right? And I love books. And when I was 21 years old, that was the first time that I came to United States and learned English over here. Yes, we learn English from school, but just like when you learn Chinese here and you go to China and you can't speak any Chinese, right? So same thing. I came here with $300 in my pocket, did not speak English, no money, no connection, no English. Build everything on my own, and you know become who I am today. I'm very grateful. I'm very grateful. The journey is not easy. Growing up, they call me the girl with a broken brain, right? I have to overcome a lot of stuff. Not easy, but I'm very grateful. Yeah.
Wow, what an accident and what a story of triumph and overcoming. What were some of the things you mentioned that books were something that you always enjoyed, but growing up, hearing what individuals are saying about you, which is not true. Look at all that you're doing right now. But what were some of the things that you did growing up as a little girl to block out the noise, to figure out what to do when you were hearing it and say, that is not me? How did you keep that strength moving and going as you were growing up?
Alicia, I just like many girls, just like many of us, we listen to the noise from the outside, we listen to people judging us, and then we believe them, right? Like growing up, they said, I'm not beautiful, my eye is too big, my mouth, my lip is too big, my face is too round, my skin is too dark, and I am short. And I was like, what else is good about me? So I kept that doubt in myself for a long time, and believe whatever they say, that I'm not good at this, I'm not good at that. I believe them until I was 25. I was in India. I studied my master's degree in India, and I saw beautiful group of like Indian young girls. They're darker than me. They're very beautiful. They were bright color, red, pink, purple, yellow, bright color, and they ride a bicycle together as a group. And I saw them, and I just like, oh, this is so beautiful, like butterflies and flowers. So then I just start to think, you know what? Whatever they say about me, it's not true, and I don't have to believe them. It took me 25 years to just remove those beliefs. You know, so I always believe that that's a blessing, right? Whatever challenge it to you, it's a blessing, you know. Because if it didn't happen, if it doesn't challenge you, it doesn't change you. So
Wow. If it doesn't challenge you, it doesn't change you.
yeah,
What a powerful statement. What a statement of belonging, right? That even in the
yeah,
challenges, you can find a way to overcome them, to change your own perspective of yourself
yeah,
and of what people say.
yeah,
And you are not what those individuals said about you growing up. You are so much more. And what's
yeah,
so beautiful is you were able to find your voice and say, I am not that. And then create a space for people to share their voice and share their impact in their story. And that is through books, but that is through so much more. Than I know that what
yeah,
you do is so much larger than what it is with books, and you're a coach and
yeah,
you create spaces for people to share their story. But something that is so remarkable about books, about
yeah,
being an author, but then on the other side about being an avid reader of books. I used to love to read books when I was a child. Was that even though I was a quiet child, I loved to get
yeah,
lost in books, because you get to get creative, especially with fictional books, fictional characters. You don't know what's going to happen next. You can make up the end of the story, and then you could read to figure out
yep,
what's there, but you're able to create these worlds that may not reflect and mimic the world that you're currently living in, but it allows
yeah,
you to have an escape, and it allows you to learn and grow and figure out what is out there in the world, the possibilities that could be, even if that's not in your reality. But it's always like once you know something, you can't unknow it. Once you learn something, it's very hard
right,
to unlearn, right? You may not practice
yeah,
it, but it's very hard to unlearn it. So it's beautiful what you're
yeah,
doing.
yeah. And I want to share to every woman too that you are beautiful and you are enough. That's it. Period. You're beautiful and you're enough. And even young men too, right? There's so many boys become men who become men, but still have that belief that they're not good enough. No, you are, and you just have to give your best. Not trying your best, you have to give your best. That's it. And your best is different than my best, right? So don't worry about living in the society's dream because you're
Yeah.
never going to meet that standard, that requirement. I was the girl with the checklist. I want to be a good girl. I want to get a good grade. I want to get a good job, married, have a good family. It's all just the society's dream. That's all. What about you? What is your dream?
Yeah. What about you? What is your dream? So how did you break through or break past the checklist of what society thought your life should look like, and really step into what you wanted your life to be like?
I think it's take a lot. It take a lot of breakdown. It take a lot of crying. It take a lot of fighting. When I was 17 years old, I haven't shared this story very much. When I was 17 years old, I was planning my suicide. I was, planning of what I'm going to do, how I'm going to do it. But then God spoke to me and said, no, you're not done yet. You have, you have work to do. And since then I pay attention to my inner guidance.
Mm.
And I mean, it's not just one time. Then I stopped planning my suicidal. Like many times, I keep planning until I need to give a credit to John Assaraf. Um, he wrote the book Inner Side, and this is what I speak on my TEDx talk too. Inner side. So exercise is for the body. Inner side is for your mind. If you keep repeating things, the same thing, guess what's gonna happen? It's gonna turn into action, right? So you better pick, good things to think about, right? Because worry is the definition of, you know, something that you don't want, but you rehearsing it in your head all the time. That's why you worry about it, and the result, guess what? You're gonna end up doing what you worry about.
Mm.
And that's why you have to shift that. You have to do the inner side, inner exercise. And that book, I would recommend everyone to read it.
Wow, we're so delighted that you are still with us. And that is a journey that you
Yeah,
have been on. And also the power and the testament of books that it can change someone's life. You never know, a
never
word
know.
shared, an expression shared, just reaching someone can change their life and change their perspective. And that's why
Yep.
messages matter. And the fact that you took your experiences and reflected and went within and said, how can I change that voice in my head? I may not be able to change the voice of what others are saying around me, but how can I
Yeah.
change
Yeah.
the relationship that I have with myself, the words that I say to myself, the conversations that I
Yeah.
say to myself? I say the longest conversation that you'll ever have is the one that you have with yourself, because you're with
Yeah.
yourself more than you're with anyone else.
Always going to be two people talking in your head. Never shut up, never stop, never sleep. You know, that's why inner side, like you got to exercise this inner side, inner exercise every single moment. Just like you exercise your body, you want fit and nice and tone, you got to exercise your brain too.
Yeah. and
Yeah.
really and really take that time to build that personal relationship with yourself, to build,
Yeah.
oftentimes we talk about having relationships with coworkers, family members,
Start from
partners,
you.
colleagues, but what does that relationship that you have look like with us? And the fact that you went through those moments that
Yeah.
you had that talk with God, and you said the work is not done. You have so much
Yeah.
in
You're
you,
not
and
done.
look at what it is that you are doing for so many people to get their messages out there. Brene Brown has this line in her book, The Gifts of Imperfection, I believe is the
Yeah.
book that it's in, but it could be in one of her other books. And it says breakdown, and she crosses it out and she says breakthrough. Because
Yeah.
oftentimes it's through our breakdowns that we can figure out where our next
Yeah.
breakthrough is. We try and figure out, what do we do next? How do we think about it? And sometimes it's at our points where we might feel our lowest that we find the strength to figure out what do we do next. So you talked about your experiences when you were younger. You talked about how you started finding your voice when you were 25 and you were looking at yourself in a different way. How did you get involved with the work that you are doing now, with Impact Through Books? You are a mom. You have two young kids. You are a single mom. What has your experience been like as you've evolved into the work that you're doing now at this part in your life?
hmm I think not just reading other people's book would change your life, but when you write your own book,
Mm.
you really like. I think the person that learned the most is the author, right? So during COVID, I wrote the book Go All In, and I asked myself before I write this book, I said, what is it that you want people to know about you? Nim Stant. Like if people talk about, Mel Robbins, people talk about the 5 minute rules. If people talk about Tim Ferriss, they talk about the 4 hours work week, the 10x rule, Grant, or whatever it is, right? So what do you want people to talk about when people talk about Nim Stand? What is the one word that represents who you are? And I said, go all in. Like I always been go all in, and I wrote that book, Go All In, during COVID. And the concept of go all in, Alicia, is it's not about do. People think, oh, I'm going all in, I'm going to do it. It's not. It's about going within, going all in, right? Which is harder than just do, right?
The
Going all
hardest
in.
thing.
Yeah, that's number one. Number two is commit first, figure out later. Meaning, you don't have to know the how. When you know what you want and how bad you want it, that's my question. How bad do you want it? When you know how bad you want it, you commit, and then you figure out later, right? Maybe find a mentor, maybe find someone to help. Figure out later. Money will come, mentor will come, but you got to commit. It's a commitment worth fighting for. That's why I commit this, because I know my kids need me. That's my commitment. It's the commitment worth fighting for. And then go all in is the concept of go all in is not a marathon. It's a sprint. So you're starting, your finish line, and you just do it. You go all in, you focus 100% in a short period of time. And once you get there, you just release it. Yeah. So that's why I sit here at Starbucks right now, not
Yeah.
at home, because I'm a mom. I'm a single mom. I'm entrepreneur. I do everything on my own. I'm solo. I am. I don't call myself single mom. I call myself a solo mom,
Mm,
because single mom sound depressing for me. Just personal opinions, but solo mom sounds more powerful, right?
mm.
So if I'm stay home, I'm probably gonna end up, washing the dishes and do the laundry and then eat all day and then fall asleep. So the work that I do will not be done. That's why I remove myself from a chance for me to procrastinate, and then I'm sitting here so that I can be laser focused. And this is my version of going all in. So, so that's the work that I do. Then people keep asking me, so how do you do what you do? That's why I providing the platform to help people learn how to go all in and achieving and reaching their dreams and overcome the procrastination and achieving the goal.
Powerful, go all in. It's a reflection of what's in it. Like you said, that might be the hardest thing that anyone does all day, is to have that real conversation with self and to go inside. And another thing that came up when you were speaking was clarity of understanding where you're trying to go and then
Yeah,
committing to it. That's something we've heard a lot from individuals that are pushing barriers and innovating and creating. It's that having the clarity of what am I trying to do next, or where am I trying to go, and then committing to that, even if you don't have all of the answers, but committing to what you're trying to do next, and then figuring it out. Partnering with individuals, attending the workshop to learn, doing a search on Google,
yeah,
talking to a friend or a partner,
yeah,
but really committing first and then doing the work
yeah,
to get there. But that
yep,
clarity comes from going within, right? Because if you don't go within to figure out where
yeah,
you're at and what you want next, how can you have that clarity to figure out what the next step is going to be? It's so critical.
right. Yeah, and I always say if you are everywhere, you are nowhere,
Mm.
right?
Yeah. Yeah,
Yeah.
because how are you in multiple places at once? So, when it comes to going all in, what are ways and what are practices that you might employ to help you figure out and to get that clarity, to quiet out the noise around you and get that clarity within? What are some of the practices that you do that enable you to go all in?
You got to make time. You got to make room. Because if you don't have that room, that space, how can the other wisdom come in, right? So a lot of people think that they just have to do it and commit, fine. But if you're not quiet enough and spend time with yourself, which is a scary thing, if you're not quiet enough, you're not going to find the answer. The answer is already within you. But if you're not quiet enough, maybe just go around too much and listen to some advice on Instagram, real social media, 10 seconds, 30 seconds. It might inspire you. It might pump up a little bit, but it's not the way to go. Yeah. So clear that space and stay quiet enough to listen. And
Mm,
sometimes I would say you don't have to go around and tell people what your dreams are,
yeah,
because you set yourself for failure, because they're not going to believe in you. They're not going to encourage you or whatever it is, because it's not their dream. It's
yeah.
not their vision. Therefore, it's not their fault if they don't believe in what you're about to do. So when you're about to do something, I would say have a conversation with yourself. make a plan, and just do it, because take action is better than just go around and keep talking.
That's powerful. It's like there's so much to unpack there. You can go out and go online and get advice, but then still
Yeah.
create the space to figure out where you fit in all of that, to figure out what's within you, because you already know what's inside. An app out there that's called Mind Valley,
Yeah.
and there are different
I
courses
love that.
on there. Yeah, it's great with different practitioners. And there's a gentleman, Jeffrey Allen, that has a course on energy work, but
Mm,
there's a program that he has, and it's all about figuring out how to quiet out the noise,
yeah.
and how to quiet down your thinking. Because sometimes people say, well, I'm thinking for the answer. And in one of the episodes, he says, well, that's the thing, you're thinking. You're not allowing what's already within you to come out, because you're using some of your energetic space and your mind space to think, when sometimes the answer is just within, if you create enough space around it for it to come out of you. And that's a really powerful message, that sometimes we seek to get guidance from everyone else outside of ourselves, but oftentimes we have the answer already within us. It's about quieting the noise around our
Yeah.
thoughts so that we can
Yeah.
actually bring it out of ourselves.
Yeah. I mean, have you ever tried this? Like, if you have to drive on a freeway for an hour to your appointment, I used to listen to audiobook. I used to listen to, some other video on YouTube, motivational speed, or listen to music, or make a phone call, right, during the time to like drive for an hour. But if you know you're gonna have an hour, how about you just turn off everything and just drive and have that conversation with yourself, do the mental review of what is your game plan, like, spend the time with yourself for that hour of driving, to just um, review it, and
Yeah.
and exercise that, so instead of just like, I'm going to call my friend because I have an hour to chit chat. Not really.
Yeah.
Yeah.
And intentionally creating the space to sit with your thoughts,
Yeah.
which can be hard, right? Because we have our
Yeah.
phones, we have our computers, it's easy to call someone, but what kind
Mm-hmm.
of insights can come up when you actually create that space to be with your thoughts? And then connected to the second point that you were mentioning earlier, which was, when you have a dream, you don't always have to tell it to other people. Maybe journal about it, maybe tell one person. That it will be a coach that will empower you to get there, but hold it near and dear to your heart, so that what other people's thoughts are don't dampen what it is that you're trying to do. Because oftentimes the things that we want to do, they were planted within us, and it's for us to be able to bring them out. And if you share that message with too many people, that message wasn't planted within them, so their perspective that they bring to it is going to be very
Yeah.
different than yours, because it was
Yeah.
planted within you to bring it out. Just like that voice that you heard back when you were
Yeah.
16, 17 was planted in you to say that, Nim, you have so much more work to do. You're not done yet, right? We
Right.
need you here to be able to bring all of the work, that runway that we're creating
Yeah.
for you, to build space for voices and for people to get their story out there. We want you to be able to bring it out to the world.
Yeah. And I'm here not to just inspire you to like, oh, I'm gonna get up and go all in. No, like, I just want to be real, and I'm gonna tell you, those who are listening right now, that you're going to fail. You're going to have that doubt. And once you have that, it's not mean you are a failure, you're failing. Well, it's just the process. And sometimes you might be early in the game. That's why you haven't get there yet. You just early in the game. You're not failing. You're just early in the game, and that's it. So remove the emotion out, and just think of, okay, I'm here in this room for experience. What do I need to learn from here? Yeah.
That's important, because we don't always get it right the first time, the second time, the third time, the fourth time,
Yeah.
right? But like you said, it's what can I learn from this experience, And a word
Yeah.
that I really love is grace, giving yourself grace in the process. And that goes back to, what is the relationship that you have with yourself? What is that intimate
Yeah.
relationship that you have with yourself, and the conversations that you have with yourself?
Yeah.
Because if you can have that
So important.
conversation that, I might not get it right now, and I am learning, and I am new to this, but I'm going to give myself the space and the grace to grow through this, versus feeling like you always have to have it figured out, or that you can't make mistakes. Because you can maybe glean an insight when things are going well, but like you said earlier, you really learn from challenges. You really learn from
Yeah.
those experiences that challenge you to think outside the box, to go find that
Yeah.
mentor, to find that teacher, to spend some time with you to reflect on, if this were to happen again, how can I navigate it different, or how can I do something differently to get the desired outcome that maybe didn't happen this time, but I want to happen the next time. And then the next
Yeah.
time you might get one step closer to figuring that out.
Yep.
That's
Yep.
that's that's really, really important. So Nim, know that you are a coach, but you are also a yoga practitioner. How did you
Yeah.
get into yoga, and what role does yoga kind of play in your life
Yeah.
and with health, with wellness? I know that we talk about wellness and health, and but yeah, what role has yoga played in your life, and what does the wellness and health journey mean to you?
Yeah, I found yoga in 2005 when my guru in India, I was study my master degree in India for dance, and my guru said, "You got to go learn yoga." And I was like, "Nope, my body can do everything. I can put my leg behind my head, no problem, you know." And then when I went to the yoga class, I hit in the wall because like it just I could not focus. I thought I was already good, but I could not focus. So the word yoga is meant to yoke or to unite it. So your breath, your body, and your mind together. Super, super, super hard to do it. The highest goal of yoga is samadhi. Samadhi is like to become one, right? So that peace, that space, that I never get there. Not many people get there. So, what yoga play, the role that yoga play for me and as an entrepreneur and as a human also, is that to come back to the root, to come back to the center, and and really pause and just like, oh shoot, I'm just running too fast. Oh shoot, I forgot to breathe. I just breathe too shallow and short and fast. So yoga playing the role not just for the body, mostly for the mind. It's calm my nervous system, is help me with my hormone, and how I make the decision as an entrepreneur and as a mom too. So I would recommend everyone to practice yoga. I practice Ashtanga yoga. It's very old style, traditional yoga, and not everyone enjoy it because there's no music, there's no heated room, there's no fancy clothes. The posture and sequence is super hard, but it requires a lot of discipline. However, it's good for body, physical, mental, emotional, spiritual.
Wow, what a way to get grounded, right? Not just in the body, but like you said, mental, physical, emotional. And I love that you shared the connection that you do have different roles in your life. But yoga, because it helps you get grounded, it helps you make better decisions in the other areas of your life, being a mom, being an entrepreneur, working with partners. Just that ability to get grounded, to get rooted, to get present in your thoughts supports that. And how have you
Yeah,
seen that playing a role in the relationships that you've developed as an entrepreneur and as you've created things that haven't existed and taken that leap of faith?
yeah. I mean, seriously, it's help with the decision making. When you have to make the decision, it's the yoga and the breath is really helped me slow down, and I just don't give the answer right away. I'm just like, okay, let me get back to you in a powerful way, calm and center. Hmm.
That is really powerful. Let me get back to you. I think that, a theme that has come up is no is a full sentence, but let me get back to you. You don't always have to give an answer right away. Just the
Yeah,
ability to sit in a moment and say, let me get back to you is powerful because it shows that, oftentimes we are reactive, but how can we take a pause, take a center, breathe through it and say, I might not have the answer right now, but I'll come back to you. And that's okay too.
yeah,
It's
right. Yeah, and some same thing. Like when you answer people a little bit slower than they expect, instead of say to them, "Oh, I'm so sorry for the delay," instead you just start your email with, "Thank you for your patience." That's it. You don't have to apologize. you know, just you know, owning your power, owning your value. You don't have to always apologize.
Yeah, thank you for your patience. That's very powerful. because you're taking up your space, and
Yeah.
your schedule is your time, and and just it goes back to the grace, right? And going within and figuring out
Yeah.
how you want to react in a moment, and not feeling like we always have to adhere to what other people's thoughts or perspectives are on how we use our time and what we do and how we respond and things like that. So that's
Yeah.
really, really powerful. Very, very
Yeah.
powerful. Nim, I know that
And
you're doing. Oh yeah, go ahead.
and Alicia, I want to tell everybody to like, I'm not always get it. I'm not always like a powerhouse woman. I'm just a normal human who's here to learn. Um, I remember this is a few months ago, during dinner time with my kids. I started to cry, and then my son observed, and he saw me, and he's like, "Why are you crying, mom?" And I said, "I feel like a failure, Sam." And then my daughter said, "Mom, you're not fail. You just find a way that is not working." She's 10. And she said that. So if you feel like you're a failure, no, you just find a way that's not working. Go open different door, because the door that you try to open and it didn't open for you, it's just not your door. That's it. Go find different door. Keep walking on that hallway. Go find different door.
Yeah, not. I love that. It's not failure. You just found a way that's not working, and now let's try and find something else. The wisdom that she had with that spark of insight is a testament to the experience and environment that you create with your
Yeah.
family. For her to come to that very, very, very wise insight. It's not failure. You just found a way that's not working, and
10 years
and now
old.
how can you find another way? Right? It goes back to challenges. How do you learn from a challenge, and how do you figure out a different way about going about that? Nim, you are a mom. I love that you said you're a solo mom, not a single mom. I commend you. My brother and I were raised by a solo mom, and I would love to leverage that phrase. I really like it. It is very empowering, and it is a journey. How do you work through motherhood, working as an entrepreneur? You're having a new event that's upcoming in a couple of weeks, where you're honoring authors, and you're having a gala, which is the first gala you've hosted.
Hmm.
How do you navigate the different areas in your life? And then after that, I would love to dive more into the gala and the event that you are having.
Thank you, Alicia. You got to choose your battle. You don't have to fight every battle, right? So, you know, pick up the kids from school. I hire a babysitter to come and tutor my daughter and help her with her homework, because I'm not going to have a headache after a long day of work to fight with my daughter for the homework. But I choose to enjoy making dinner for them so they can eat healthy and tasty food. And then we sit down and have dinner together, so I'm not like too tired and too burned out, right? So choose your battle. You don't have to be badass and powerhouse in everything you do. Just choose your battle. You don't have to fight everything. And build a team, right? The team is not like, oh, your CEO, your assistant, your whatever. It's not the business team, it's your life team. You need to build that village. So find people that can help you in a different way, different things. Like I saw, my backyard that I need to clean up. But instead of hire some landscaper to come in, I just hire my son, teach him how to work, $50, go clean the weeds, 14 years old, because that's going to be the win for him. And again, you know, allocating the work to the people, right? The event, the gala, it's super awesome. Can I share with that a little bit now?
Yes, I would love for you to share more about the gala. And I love too that you're like, hire a team. It's not just at work, right? It's in your life.
Oh,
The phrase, it takes a village, because it truly takes a
yeah,
village. And figuring out how you want to use your time and your energy. And I love that you're teaching your son entrepreneurial skills by cleaning the yard. It's something that you both will enjoy, because you live in the same place. You're teaching him an entrepreneurial skill, and at the end of the day, now the yard looks a little bit differently.
yeah,
But it's having that intent and working with where you're at. So that's beautiful, and I think that's a message for everybody to think about your team, not just at work, not just your colleagues, but what is your team in your life? Who are your support
yeah, yeah,
individuals to help you with your goals or whatever it is that you have going on, the people around you, it really matters, you
Yeah,
know, what kind
yeah,
of support you have around you.
yeah. And the exchange, it doesn't always have to be money. It
Yep.
doesn't always have to be like you got to pay this person to wash your dishes and that, whatever it is. Think of before money happened, right? We exchange things, chocolate with fish or whatever it is, you know. So you don't always have to spend money. You can exchange with something, some other service, right? So
Yeah. Support, wisdom. It could just be a kind word, right? Whatever it is that works for whatever
whatever
that you
works.
have going on, right? Just understanding that it does take a village, and you can lean on your village if you have one. And if you don't have one, or you feel like you don't have one, think about how can you maybe move in other spaces and meet individuals that maybe are more supportive in your life if you feel like those around you aren't that supportive. And then, yes, would love to learn more about the upcoming gala that you have that is celebrating and honoring authors of both fiction books and nonfiction books. And how did this gala kind of come to be? And what are the aspects of the gala that are upcoming that you look to share with the world and with the events that you do produce?
So everyone, think of this as Grammy Awards. Okay, I dream big. Like in the next few years, not even 5 years, I want this to be like Grammy Award for authors because it's happened because I was frustrated that artist, singer, actor, musician like get the awards, right, get recognition, but also who working so hard and create an impact to the community not getting enough recognition, and those who hold the award for author normally kind of old style, you know. So I'm like, okay, I'm young enough. I want to do something, break the rules, do something different. It doesn't have to be traditional. So, this event is on March 30th and it's going to happen from 6 p.m. to 10 p.m. Authors from around United States and internationally will come and they know they win something. So they're going to come and receive the trophy on stage. And we have, like, the story is crazy. I just talked to one of the authors who win the award. He said he has been writing a book for 40 years. And in his life, he never win anything. And his book is amazing and he won this award and he is a bus driver and he will come to receive his award that he said this is one of the this is the biggest thing in his life. He never done anything like this. So I am honored author in any industry. It's not just you have to be superstar author. No, wherever you are at, if you submit your book, win our award. Not everyone's gonna win, you once you win the award, you'll be invited to come and receive your honorary trophy on stage. We have Mark Victor Hansen from the Chicken Soup of the Soul, Sharon Latcher, who co-writing the book Rich Dad Poor Dad, Sean Cannon from the movie The Karate Kid, Bosco Adam, his book just turned into a movie. I mean, a lot of great authors, a lot of successful authors will be there.
Yeah, I love it. It's going to be a packed house there. And I love that you said dream big, think big. Think of
Yeah.
the Grammys, think of the Oscars. Who is celebrating? Think of the Oscars. I want to enunciate that. Who is celebrating authors, right? And
Yeah.
it's so
Yeah.
amazing that you're creating an award show to recognize them, to recognize their literary works of art, their creativity, their ability to impact mindsets from a personal development perspective, and their ability to share their stories. Writing a book is a legacy in itself because it is something that it is digital in the digital world, but a physical book. I still have books that my mom gave to me when I was a
Mm.
child, and I still, read them today. Chicken Soup for the Soul, the kids edition, being one of them, right? Think and Grow Rich, and I know that
Yeah. Yeah.
Sharon Lecter wrote the Think and Grow Rich edition of that for women. But thinking
Yes.
about all of these books and the impact that books have on people and on mindsets, and I love to write in the margins, right? And think about, books take you to a certain place, they bring you to a memory. So it is amazing that you are honoring authors,
Yeah.
creating a space for them to be recognized, like the gentleman that's been writing for 40 years and is a bus driver and is getting and receiving this award.
Yeah.
It is a testament to the work that he's done, but to be recognized, people don't necessarily do the work for the recognition, but it is really
No,
nice when someone gets recognized, right? It is
correct.
acknowledgement of the time and the effort that they put to share their story, a part of them, share their imagination. And the fact that you're curating and creating spaces for this, I can feel that it's going to continue to grow, and people will know about the book awards like they know about the Grammys, which is
Yeah.
music that inspires and educates and entertains, like the Oscars for film, but for books, because books have a very, very special place in a lot of people's hearts and homes. And so it's amazing that you are doing that. I want to acknowledge you for creating that
Thank
space
you.
for others to be recognized and to be acknowledged and to be uplifted. That's something that we at the Los Angeles Tribune deeply believe in. Content that inspires, that uplifts, that educates, and books definitely do that. And we thank you for dreaming big and thinking big, because you are creating these spaces for other individuals, which is just remarkable.
Yeah, it's just my playground. you know, it's fun. It's stressful, but it's fun. It's my playground. We don't know how long we have left here. Why not do it right now? Because you don't know. You know. Yeah, yeah. And I
Nim, I
always
love.
say yes.
Go ahead, go
Sorry.
ahead. You always say.
I'm gonna finish this. I always say if I can do it, everyone can do it. Because remember when I first moved here, I was 21. I could not even speak English, and right now people still say, "Oh, Nim, your English, your grammar is not correct. You have accent, stuff like that." And I was like, "Well, as long as you understand what I say, I'm cool." So if I can do
Aw.
it, everyone can do it.
I love that. As long as you can understand what I say, I'm cool. How
Yeah,
much of us are limited by just the thought of not being perfect, not having, not our limiting ourselves from speaking because we think we have an accent, or that our
yeah,
thoughts may not be complete. But I love. I've been listening in the background, Nim, and I'm so inspired by your journey, your story, a lot of the things that you said, but especially the gala. We did with the Los Angeles Tribune. We also did an awards gala last December. Part of it is one of the partners that you're bringing in also in the gala, which is David Fagan, and it's really important for us, to create the space, so we align with you so much, and and this
mhm,
is why we are going to be a part of your gala. As you do this, and let's not forget that there's also a conference during the daytime,
yes,
right? Like you're also
yes.
providing the conference. Tell us a little bit more about the conference.
Yeah. So, I mean, we have all the travel from all over the country that will be there. So we put together guest experts that will help author and non-author. You don't have to write a book to attend the conference. So you can come in if you have a business, you know what you want, but you stuck because you don't know how to get more visibility, credibility, get more eyeballs. This conference is for you to learn how to get in front of people, how to sell from stage, how to turn your book into 6 and 7 figure business. And again, I'm not just saying because it sounds good. It is real. It happened to me before, turning just one book idea into 6 figures business. And seriously, the world is, audible learning, right? So we have guest experts that will be sharing their knowledge and wisdom with all of you on stage. And you don't want to miss this because, this is social media alone is not enough, but how can you build your brand authority, right? So when people that watch you from social media come to your website, they know right away that you're the real deal. You are the expert in what you say you are. So don't miss it.
I love that, Nim. Definitely being the expert of what you do is an important thing because we live in a very noisy and very crowded environment. Although there's a big need, one of my most favorite things, not to go into scarcity, but one of my favorite things that I don't know if you've heard of Dame Doria Cordova. Dame
Mhm.
Doria Cordova is the mentor of the Antonio Robbins, a partner of Robert Kiyosaki. Like she has been a mentor to like multimillionaires and billionaires. And one of the things that she says is, you think that the space is oversaturated. Like we're oversaturated with books, oversaturated with authors, oversaturated with speakers, oversaturated with coaching. He said, no, it's just you. It's all algorithm. The algorithm shows you more of what you put out there because it looks like it's your interest. But there's a big world out there who's hurting. The rates of depression, the rates of dependence on narcotics, the dependence on medications, therapy, and even the dependence on and the tendency to like be suicidal is the highest ever. So even though we're seeing, like, it seems like there's a lot of books, isn't it oversaturated? No, it's just your algorithm. You see
Yeah.
more of. So our strategy in the Los Angeles Tribune is we always go outside of our box. We
Yeah.
always expand that box. How do we go past the algorithm that was recognized for our industry? How do we tap into more people who's past, who's beyond, who's already our audience, who we're already reaching out to? So for our audience who are watching today, we encourage you to share this, because, the Los Angeles Tribune, I just wanted to share, name is all about, news that's inspiring, uplifting,
Mm.
empowering, and educational. For once, we you have a media that's redefining what it means to be a national news brand, not just giving you what would be popular because it's scary or it's negative
Yeah.
or it triggers people. But we're here to uplift. We're here to make a better place, and this is why we're doing this 31 days of honoring women. And
Mm.
everything that you've said today, I love what you said about commit first, figure it out
Figure
next.
out later. Yeah.
And what a powerful testament to coming here at 21,
Yeah.
not being able to speak English, even being challenged, with your brain function from your accident at childhood, and yet doing the amazing things, seeing the gap first. Like, why is there no awards for authors, for people who've been authors for 40 years? Seeing the gap and saying yes to it, and saying, yes, I'm committing to it, and I don't know how, but I am committed. And you are that testament. Like, you walk it, like, you
Yeah.
don't just say that, figure it out, commit first then figure it out later. I mean, you're walking it. I was just telling you a while ago in our conversation, like, you know um what you're doing is phenomenal.
Thank
And
you.
it normally would take a big institution, a big organization with a lot of people to be able to do
Mm.
this, and you would probably think, like, what can one nim do, right? And going through those ups and downs of your moments where you're feeling like you're failing, and your daughter reminding you just found something that didn't work. I'm like, that is so powerful. When your
So true.
kids can encourage you, you've done something right. Right. I'm
Yeah.
so
Yeah.
encouraged by the fact that you raised your kids. I'm like, sometimes that's about the biggest reward we can get. Really
They're
living
watching
a
us.
life of leadership. They see it, they
Yep.
watch it, and when you forget, they remind you. So
Yeah. And I
I'd
asked
love to
her.
hear, Nim.
Yes.
No, go
Go
ahead. I was
ahead.
gonna say, tell us more about your children.
No, I asked her like, so Soraya, where did you learn this? And she said, oh, it's from Einstein, mom. Like, okay, I didn't even know.
From Einstein, absolutely. We just have a comment from Speaker Eric Swanson, who said, "You're awesome,
Mr.
Nim."
Awesome.
From Speaker Eric Swanson. you know
Yes,
so
Mr.
so awesome.
Awesome.
And Chella was also from Kenya and just said, you are a great
Mm,
woman, your stories are so
thank you.
touching, have been one time visited Arkansas City. And so she's from Chella is from Zambia, Africa. So
Mm,
we've got viewers from all around the world, whether you're viewing this live or on recording. We encourage you to just comment even after the live broadcast and share it, because what a powerful story of encouragement. And I have on the ticker rolling your International Impact Book Awards dot com /conference. It's you're so generous, Nim, that you're practically giving this attendance for free. What I understood, practically just
Yeah,
having people cover their lunch and their coffee is not
yeah,
even. We've
yeah.
put up events in the Los Angeles Tribune. You don't even like you pay more than $48 as an event organizer for
Yeah,
lunch and coffee. So we know that
yeah.
that you're really putting this event together, from a
Just
place of
come.
generosity.
I mean, just come. Meet me halfway. I put the space for you. You come and you learn. I can't do it for you. You come and you create the magic. I just put the space for you. That's all.
And it's amazing that Nim, you're not only honoring authors, but teaching them, what are the
Mhm.
entrepreneurial skill sets to support your art, right? You might
Yeah,
have your creative genius, which is getting the story that's within you out of you, but also empowering individuals, not just recognizing individuals, but empowering them with the tools to help their story reach further audiences, right? Through the conference, through the entrepreneurial coaching that you do, even through the mindset coaching that you do. I know that this is not only your only event, that you do curate events and spaces for individuals to come together to be recognized. I feel like we could continue this conversation with you forward because there's so much to share here.
yeah.
But Nim, I know we've covered so much about being a solo mom and stepping into challenges and looking at breakdowns as breakthroughs. But what are some words that you would like to share with the audience for those that are tuning in live right now and those that will be watching the replay? What is the message that you would like to share with them and leave with them?
To be real, I would say don't die. That's it. Like don't die without leaving something behind. You create an impact, you leave the legacy, you leave something for the next generation to follow, right? We don't know how long we have left, so you can't waste your time. Yeah. So
What a
That's so
message.
powerful. What, like, talk about legacy, right? We are at Her Story Unfolding, honoring women's legacy, past, present, and future. And what I hear from your remarks, Nim, is like being aware of what you're leaving as legacy,
Mhm.
for your children, your children's children, and for the next generation. And we really, really appreciate you, want to honor you. And Nim, I know that this interview is a surprise to you, but there's a bigger surprise. We wanted to honor you, Nim, with the
oh my gosh.
literary luminary award. um
Thank you.
Yes, this recognition is bestowed upon a woman who has made exceptional contributions to the world of literature through her
Mhm.
writing and efforts to create spaces that honor authors. This award recognizes an individual who not only excel in her craft but also actively promote and support fellow writers, whether through
Wow.
mentorship programs, literary events, or initiatives aimed at fostering a vibrant and inclusive literary
Wow.
community. Congratulations,
Thank
Nim.
you. Thank you. That's a big
Congratulations.
surprise. What a
Yeah.
day.
Uh, so you will create spaces to recognize and honor and elevate other people, but we also want you to know that we
Mm,
see you, that we
thank
honor
you.
you and recognize all of the work that you are doing and all of the experiences that you've had personally in your life that have led the road and the runway to the journey you've had that has led you to where you are right now and the spaces that you've created, and recognizing people and pouring into people to say, I'm going to pour into you and uplift and upbuild you, not detract from you. And like messages that you heard when you were a child that weren't right, that weren't real, and that did not honor who you are. We honor you and we see you. And congratulations, Nim, for being the
Thank
recipient
you.
of the Luminary Literary Award. And we'd love to share with you to share your thoughts and reflections on receiving this award.
Thank you so much. Thank you so much. Um, yeah, I'm speechless. I didn't prepare for today to be a special day. I never worry about my name, my fame, whatever it is. I just I just do me. So thank you.
I love that. The
Well,
realness. I just do me. You talked
that's
about,
so good.
that the message to other people is just to be real, right? Meet
Yeah.
yourself where you're at, give yourself your grace,
Yeah.
and to be you, not what other people think you should be, but being you for you,
Yeah.
and showing up for the people around you in such a special way. So, Nim, it has been a pleasure to speak with you today as part of Her Story Unfolding. Your story is continuously unfolding. We are just on one page of the book that is Nim Stant's life that is continuing, and we can't wait to turn the pages to see how your story continues to unfold. Thank you so much for all of the work that you do, for the spaces that you create, and for the opportunity to elevate voices that you are continuously creating for others. We look to your impact awards as
Yep.
it is the
It is.
next big award show, right? It is a
Yep.
way of art and creativity, and what you're doing with the International Impact Book Awards is remarkable, in addition to all that you do, and the ways that you show up. So thank you so much on behalf of the Los Angeles Tribune, Nim,
Mm.
for joining us today on this series, Her Story Unfolding. We appreciate you, we honor you, and we thank you. And to those tuning in, continue to share Nim's story and tune in as we continue to elevate, honor, and empower women during Women's History Month here at the Los Angeles Tribune. We appreciate you, and have a wonderful day.
Welcome to a celebration at the precipice of time, where the power of women knows no bounds. Experience Her Story Unfolding, a reawakening of our collective consciousness to the monumental achievements of our foremothers, a tribute to the battles they fought, rights they've secured, and paths they've paved that women all over the world are continuing to navigate and expand upon. Her stories are unfolding, empowering growing, building legacies of pioneering women by sharing their stories, celebrating their accomplishments, and embracing the rights and privileges they've bestowed to us for generations to come.